Hello there, I'm Kios, Ronin Beatmaker, and welcome to Ronin Art and Music, home to Ronin Music, Lounge Ronin, all things, everything, the Monday Mindset Rants, and Ronin Reviews. We strive to make holistic and authentic content that aims to improve your individuality, mental fortitude, and peace of mind. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Stay positive, stay focused, stay true, and much love. Now, back to the show. Hello there. Welcome to another episode of Ronin Review. I'm your host, Kios the Ronin Beatmaker, and I have with me a special guest, Lady Lioness.
Back again. Hi, everybody.
And we're going to be doing a review of Gladiator 2. So before we get into the review, let's take a look at the box office. Let me get this up there. And if you're new to the channel, please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. All right, Miss Linus, would you kindly read, please?
First of all, I would just like to say The Gladiator is my favorite movie.
Yeah, we're not doing that yet.
Oh, okay. So you're editing this out?
No, did you not listen to what I said at the beginning?
No.
Were you not paying attention? Okay,
I missed it.
Put the phone down.
Okay. Are we starting over?
Oh my God. No, we're not starting over.
Wait.
We're leaving this in so you can learn a valuable lesson.
Here we are.
Now, would you kindly read?
Oh, you want me to read the whole thing? Okay. According to Screen Rant, which is where I'm reading from, Ridley Scott's sequel, Gladiator 2, has become one of Paramount's highest grossing movies of all time, surpassing some classic movies in the process. The movie is... Where? Oh, though Gladiator 2 has not quite reached the critical heights of the first movie, the film has still proven to be a success theatrically, grossing almost $370 million worldwide to date. Okay. The highlights from this: the movie currently sits at number 47 on the charts with a worldwide gross of $369.7 million, taking $134 million at the box office. Gladiator 2 sits just above Raiders of the Lost Ark, number 48, and Top Gun, 49, Captain America, The First Avengers, 46. Yeah. Exciting.
So now that you have your box office review, let us get into the Gladiator 2 review. Now, I'm going to allow Lady Lioness to start off, as she is a Gladiator fanatic. She actually does have, from the first Gladiator, the pants that Russell Crowe was wearing when he was in the Colosseum. So she's very familiar with this film. We did see the first one and the second one back to back, so we are very well aware of the films. So I will let her share her thoughts in a non-spoiler review.
A non-spoiler review? Oh, okay.
And then we're going to do the spoiler review.
You guys can see how planned we are. All right, back of the house. We're seeing that. Gladiator is, again, my favorite movie of all time. That is Russell Crowe in his prime. And it just was an overall visually pleasing, especially for the times. Great story, great plot. You know, the actors, Joaquin Phoenix, Russell Crowe, top tier. when you still watch it today, you still get upset when you see certain scenes, or you get happy or sad. It just was a great movie. In my opinion, we did not need a Gladiator 2. I think that we could have left it where it was. Um, I am always going to be an advocate for Denzel, but I don't think that we needed him in this movie. Hot take there, but I think he's better than that. I think he could have done something way more impactful than play a gladiator liaison to the royals. Yeah, that's my overall take. Go ahead. What do you think?
Uh, I would say that we probably didn't necessarily need this sequel, but I would say that they had elements of a sequel that could have worked. And I feel that, and this is only to reference because we actually started watching the 3 hour cut of Kingdom of Heaven, which is a personal favorite of mine. Now that's a Ridley Scott film from 2005. And I've seen the theatrical cut. Now watching the extended cut, I feel that Gladiator 2 is missing a lot. It's either missing a lot or, as Ridley Scott's cinematographer said, he's getting lazy. And maybe that could be the case with this film. But I felt like this film could have used, like, and I told her this, like an extra hour. It feels like it's missing a lot of context for things that would have helped make the story seem more cohesive. But to make it more easier for you guys to understand us, for those who have not seen it, I highly recommend go see it, make up your own impressions, and then come back for our spoiler review.
Definitely.
Hold on.
And definitely leave a comment. Like, we want to hear what you guys think. Like,
All right, so we're gonna get into spoilers, and I'm going to allow Lady Lioness to lead because I think now that we're getting into spoilers, she can really say how she feels. And I think it'll be a lot easier for people who have seen it to maybe get an understanding of our feelings on it as well, especially for someone who really, really loves the first one. So please
yes.
take it away.
I'm gonna jump straight into the plot and like really, really spoil everything. So again, if you are not ready for that, please come back after you've watched it. I think that the gladiator being the son of the sister, what was her name? Damn. Terrible with names.
So you have Lucius, who
Yes.
is the main character, who goes by Anu in the film.
Lucius is the son that they were referencing in the first movie, which is why Russell Crowe fought as hard as he did to save Lucius and the Empire from Joaquin Phoenix. And to bring him back as a gladiator just feels a little on the nose. And then to have him be the son officially of Russell Crowe, I just don't think we needed that. Thank you. Lucilla, that's her name. Connie Nielsen. I think it's on the nose. It's definitely again, from someone who thinks that this movie was just not needed because the first one was perfection. Yeah, we didn't need that. I think the mystery of not knowing who Lucius's dad really was, because there was a scene in the first movie, if you guys have paid attention to it, that they had a little bit of a connection when Lucilla showed up at the camp where Russell Crowe was with the king at the time. And there was some chemistry there. There was some eye contact when Lucius's name came up and the son came up. There was some mystery, and you're like, "Oh, was it? Is it that other guy's son, or was it actually Russell Crowe?" I like that mystery.
And I think it was a bit of a cop out to make her husband that she was betrothed to, who died, gay. So that way, it would make it more sense for her to have had relationships with Maximus. I think it would have been better if he wasn't gay and they just kept it in the air. Was it her husband who died, or was it Maximus? You don't know. That would have been a better mystery.
Yes.
Maybe somehow kept that mystery going until the last. I don't know. There could have been a better way to make him the father. So, but please.
And then she got married, Lucilla, to Pedro Pascal, who is General Acasius.
Acasius.
Yes, Acasius. I think he was a good husband in that he was very loyal to her and loyal to Rome in the way that he was, which is reminiscent of her dad, which is great. It sucked that he also had to die. Like, everyone around her literally dies as like a love interest. And then she eventually died. In the same place where all of her other lovers died.
Yeah, that's right. In the Colosseum.
In the Colosseum.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Her brother died in the Colosseum. Maximus died in the Colosseum. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Like, and then Denzel's character. Can we really talk about that? Like,
Lioness is a very big fan of Denzel.
Classic man. Classic actor. A-lister.
She's a very, very big fan of him. And she does have her thoughts and feelings, especially on the supposed controversial kiss between Denzel and another man, which the Black Twitter and the community was up in arms about. And personally, I'm gonna say this, and there's rumors that there is I believe a 4-hour cut of Gladiator 2. All right, now, like I said, this movie needed an extra hour of context for just a lot of things to be more fleshed out so it flows. And I especially think that would have been important with Denzel's character, Macrinus. So I'm going to allow Lady Lioness to continue to share her thoughts, and then I will chime in.
Macrinus is an interesting character because he's similar to, I guess it's like a passed down role, right? Of the guy from the first movie. I don't remember his name, but he also was in charge of the gladiators and like basically like transporting them, trafficking them, because that's literally what it is, because they're slaves. And he played it to the best of his ability, and you can see that. You can see the dedication to the role.
Proximo
from the first one. Yes, that is the role.
The gladiator managers. Gladiator manager.
Not managers.
Well, yeah, they're like managers. It's like they manage gladiators. He's a manager.
Okay. Or traffickers. Or purchasers.
Well, he buys
Purchases.
them. He's a manager.
Purchase.
It's like no different than like a manager for a UFC team signing a contract for a fighter to join or football.
Okay.
Which is like the Coliseum. Give them bread and circus.
Wow, we're gonna go there. We're gonna get deep on it.
No, I'm just saying. So Denzel's character is like Proximo. He's a manager for gladiators.
Right. It's the same role. It's passed down, I guess. However, the case to free men or people who have able to work their way up the ranks, which Denzel's role was in this movie, the second one, Gladiator 2. He was loyal to Marcus Aurelius, and
he was a soldier.
Right. He was a soldier, and he wanted Rome to be what Marcus Aurelius' vision was. And again, this was 16 years after Marcus Aurelius was murdered by his son. And that was his whole goal. But what's interesting about that was he also was a slave.
But he didn't want Marcus Aurelius' future. He said that future is a dead idea.
Is that what he said?
Yeah. He didn't want that. He wanted to destroy that idea. Why do you think he killed Lucia?
So then why did he bring up Marcus Aurelius' name?
He was branded by Marcus Aurelius. Near the end, when he had Lucia imprisoned, he showed her the branding mark of Marcus Aurelius' empire at that time.
Okay, so then I thought that he was going for his vision.
No, he was completely...
And then he went rogue at the end.
No, he was against it from the start.
Oh, I thought that's how he got Lucilla's ear.
No.
I thought that's how he got her ear.
He was just manipulating her, like everybody.
Wow. Okay. That puts a little bit of a spin on it, but still unnecessary. I think he did a good job. I think he did a good job of manipulating the twins, who we'll talk about next. And in the end, he got his just due, Denzel. They chopped his arm off, which was like, wow. As a man who talked a lot with his hands, that was sad to see. He put up a good fight, though. I will say that. You thought that too.
Yeah, he did. He did beat the brakes off of Lucius for the time being. And you're forgetting he gut him in the stomach too. Sliced his guts right open.
Yeah, he did. He actually did. But Denzel, again, I'm a stand for him, so you're never gonna hear anything bad from me about him. What do you think? Anything else on?
Like I said, I think we should have had at least one or two flashbacks for Denzel's character when he was a soldier, when he was a slave. We just needed. I don't know, maybe it's like maybe he's just not as strong as a writer anymore, Ridley Scott. But like we just needed more context to understand like his motives. Like the twins, who I think was played by one actor.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was this guy,
Fred Hischinger and Joseph Quinn. Like they were very good at playing these psychopathic twin kings, but like it would have been nice to at least gotten some context as to how they came into power. Same with like we just needed more context. Like we needed some sort of flashback, maybe a conversation to explain certain things, like when he was a soldier, like was he there at the battle that Marcus Aurelius was in? Did he serve under Marcus Aurelius? Like I would have liked if they did little things like that. Like if, Denzel's character said, yeah, I served under Marcus Aurelius. I was there at the first battle in the first movie. If he was there and he was just a regular foot soldier who was a slave, who got, forced conscription, then it's like, oh, okay, there's the context, and like we kind of get it now. Then his motives would have been like more genuine and clear, and it would make sense too because like the Roman Empire wasn't just filled with just Italians. It was filled with Africans. It was filled with Arabs. Like it was filled with everybody who the Romans conquered, essentially. So it would be a fair way to connect more dots. I think like he was just kind of like had these strings together, but he didn't really tie them in. That's how I felt. Like, like at the beginning of the film, like we meet Lucius and like he has a wife, but we don't really get to meet his wife. She gets shot with an arrow, and then he just turns into, the Roman version of the Hulk and just rages through the entire film, which I get the anger, but like I would have loved that we had flashbacks with him and his wife, and he's like reflecting with her during those scenes where he's like chained up or, in prison. Like we needed more moments like that. And there may have been, I don't know, because there was another actress who was in the movie but got fired from the role and all her scenes were cut.
You know more about that than me. I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, I'm just, just talking real quick, but I don't remember the context of why she was fired. But we just needed more context. Like we needed more understandings of Marcunius's, what was it? How was it?
Maricela and Emperor Maricela.
No, Denzel's
Caracalla. Oh, Macrinus.
Macrinus. We needed more context. Like, I was talking with the Lioness lady over here, and we were talking about, she liked the intro, how it was like these oil paintings. And it would have been cool if we had some flashbacks that were using those oil paintings. Just something to give it more. We just needed more.
I agree.
It was 2 hours of like no context.
It was beautiful. The oil paintings were beautiful. I think that was a brilliant way to open the movie, doing the flashbacks. It's also like, it's just visually appealing. So that it just was great. And if they would have woven a little bit more of that into the movie, I think that we would have gotten the context we needed. He believes that we needed an hour. I believe we could have done with like maybe 30 more minutes. If done right, 30 more minutes would have explained the twins a little bit better, especially since it was 16 years ago that Marcus Aurelius was alive. These twins were clearly over the age of 16. Whose children are they? How did they become emperors? How did they come into power? That is definitely needed. Like, how did they become crazy? You mentioned something about one of the twins biting off one of the other twins'
penises. Yeah. So like apparently one of them, when they were babies, bit off the other dude's dick, and that's why he's like a eunuch. And Denzel was like, "Oh, you remember that?" He's like, and the emperor's like, "Well, yeah, one does not forget getting his dick bitten off." It's like, wait, hold on, what? We need more. Like, they would just like say lines, and then you're like, okay, but wait, hold on. Can you provide? We need more information. And I'm not saying we need more information about getting a dick bit off.
No.
But like, we need more information about like why people's intentions were. Why was the empire in the state that it was in? Like we needed. Plus, like Marcus Aurelius said, he was done with the campaigns. The empire had reached its pinnacle after that. So why were they doing more campaigns? I thought they already had taken Africa at that point. So I don't know. But like we just needed more understanding of certain things. Why was Lucia why did she stay in Rome and let her son disappear? He was sort of supposed to be emperor immediately. Like, why did she make that decision instead of making him emperor? Who were the people that were trying to kill him? Like, why were they after him? He was supposed to be emperor. It was already in the first one, they said he would be emperor. So why do that? We didn't get any context to any of that stuff. We were just supposed to be like, oh, well, they just want him dead because he's the true son of Rome. It's like, okay, but why?
Why wasn't he not put on the throne immediately? Rome has had, there have been plenty of kingdoms that have had child kings and queens. So what was the context? Maybe they should have had it that he was king for a little bit and then got overthrown and he escaped. Like, we needed more of an understanding of like why they wanted him dead for so long. And like, no, the only person that was still alive to like remember that he existed was like his mom and like a senator. Like, too bad. A couple senators. Too bad there wasn't Quintus, the guy who like was second in command to Maximus. If he was in the movie, that would have been nice. More of a connective tissue. We just needed like more understanding of people's motives, like why they were mad and angry. But the action was great. The baboon fight, it took me like 30 minutes to figure out how to fucking say baboon. Baboon.
And he says it funny.
Baboon. So that's how you say it. It's pronounced.
Baboon.
Yeah, baboon.
But no, you said baboon.
Baboon. Okay, well, I messed up. But that fight was cool. I know his cinematographer complained that there was too much CGI, and maybe he's right. But the baboon fight was really cool. The riding, the dude riding the rhino was dope. How did they get sharks?
Yeah.
That was a bit much. They had great white sharks in the Colosseum. That made absolutely no sense. Now, if you've seen the show Those About to Die, which we have, which is on, is that Peacock?
Yeah.
Very good show. They have a scene where
top tier,
where they fill up the Colosseum with water, but they have crocodiles.
Yeah.
Which makes much more sense.
Yes, it does.
Right? They don't show you how they drain the Colosseum with great white sharks in it. Unless they just drain it and then they just let the sharks just, flap around.
And then
on
eat
the floor, maybe.
I mean, why not? What else would they do?
The sharks were a bit excessive, I would say. Could have done it with crocodiles. All right.
I appreciated Ravi.
Ravi,
the nurse of the gladiators.
Oh, the medic.
The medic.
Is he even on there?
Yes. Oh. Alexander Karim.
He was a former gladiator himself.
Or Kareem. Yes, he was also a former gladiator. A lot of former gladiators in this.
Yes. Gladiators were celebrities of their time and were able to earn their freedom. Oftentimes buy their freedom out.
I also appreciated seeing Peter Mensa. Love him. He's a great actor.
Which character?
That is, he was the king of Lucius's area. What was his name? I can't pronounce that. Jugurtha.
Yeah, probably Jugurtha. Yeah. Who he passed away, unfortunately.
But he's such a good actor.
Passed away. Yeah, it needed. I'm hoping Ridley does release the 4-hour cut.
I hope so.
If you've seen the 3-hour cut of Kingdom of Heaven, you'll understand like what we mean by like context. And I was telling her when we were watching, because we stopped it during the intermission section, but I was explaining to her like, oh, this scene was added or this is extended, and I can tell you from watching the original cut of Kingdom of Heaven that the extended version, it just adds further context. But even without those scenes, there's enough context where it makes sense. But this is a weird thing I noticed. Maybe this is a Ridley Scott thing, but he tends to cut out scenes in parts of his movies where those scenes need to be. And I don't know, maybe that's just me. But I think when we get the 4-hour cut,
he wants more.
We'll do. Yeah, we needed more, man. Like I left that theater wanting more. Like I felt like I wasn't satisfied with what I saw. Personally, I needed more. I was not satisfied. But it still was a fun film, nonetheless. It was a very fun and entertaining film.
Yeah, and it was visually pleasing again. It was good to See?
Yeah, the set pieces were incredible. You can tell that the set pieces were massive. You can tell that they literally built like a lot of the stuff. I think most of the CGI was like the baboons, the rhino, and like
the rhino,
the sharks.
Which is enough. That was enough.
I don't think that was that bad.
That was enough.
Maybe throw in a couple real baboons. That would have been nice. Like, at least, like, the look of a real baboon. They could have had a scene where they had, like, cages of real baboons.
They starved those baboons, and that's my issue. They starved them, and then they shot them up with whatever drug.
Yeah, to, like, amp them up, which was pretty wild.
Insane.
Yeah.
But good.
We needed more Coliseum fights. We needed more Coliseum fights.
He wants it to be 5 hours, guys.
Bring back 3-hour films. I'm serious. If you saw Dune 2, then you would understand why the third act of Dune 2 needed like an extra 30 minutes. Like, they rushed through that shit, and that shit should have been like taking its time, because a lot of stuff happened in the third act that really needed to be like really put out there. But, Dylan Villeneuve, he's never going to put those deleted scenes out. But I'm hoping that since Ridley Scott, he did the Napoleon movie, there's a 3-hour cut of the Napoleon movie. I'll wait till then, and maybe we'll get some actual context on certain scenes. Man, we got some crazy wind going on over in our area.
It's raining and very windy here.
Yes. And we have taken up enough of your time with our thoughts and feelings on Gladiator 2. Thank you for joining us on this Ronin review with a special guest, Lady Lioness. Perhaps you'll catch her again in a feature installment.
Ooh.
But until then, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Stay positive, stay focused, stay true, and